What's up, kittens? Welcome back, and if you're new to my channel, I'm delighted to have you here. Today, I just wanted to talk a little bit about my experience with creating in my life high vibrational friendships, opposed to, I really think about it as quality over quantity. And in my high school, junior high years, like for me, I have always been a girl's girl and always had like a very close group of friends, and also the desire to be externally validated by other people. So wanted to have a large group of acquaintances and friends, which at times put me in positions where I wouldn't always remain true to myself, or necessarily sometimes I'd become a caricature of myself. So as I have engaged with many different people and had many different friend groups throughout my life, I'm very fortunate that I actually still have several friends from my junior high, my high school, and my college years still in my life. And I'm really grateful for them because they provide myself with an insight that people who are meeting me now just don't have. And for me, it was really having to come to terms with what are my values in friendships and what do I even define a high vibrational friendship as. And yesterday I was talking to one of my dear friends who is a newer friend in my life. We've been friends for maybe a year and a half or so. And I was sharing that how much gratitude I have for the relationship that we have built, because it really is built off of quality, and it's built off of authenticity, and it's built off of non-attachment. There is never a time in this relationship where if I send a text message, or if they send a text message, or reach out in any capacity, unless it's a 911, which protocols are important, I think, in friendships, to know like if someone's having a really tough time, how to manage that within the capacity of each person and within that relationship. And even just considering like, should you be a 911 person for that friend? Like, do you even have the desire to do that? And I think that's important because sometimes there are energy vampires that people just will reach out to everybody and be like, anyone that's willing to help me. So going back to the non-attachment, that has freed up so much expectation in this friendship, where I feel that because there is no attachment to the outcome, that we are able to flow with each other and flow around each other and flow together. And there's never any sort of negative emotion of if someone doesn't answer back like immediately, if it's a day or 2 days, like it's fine. It's okay. There's no hostility, no negative emotions. And in the past, when I have experienced that like desperation within friendships, that has caused a lot of anxiety for me, because suddenly it's like, oh, this person must hate me, or I've done something wrong, and I'm second guessing every second and moment that I've ever had with that friend, when really like life happens and people are doing things and they are coping and managing and experiencing life at their own pace. And for me, this experience of non-attachment within the friendship really creates such abundance and gratitude and appreciation in those moments that I am engaging with my friends, because I know that we are meeting each other at a high vibrational frequency that is, we want to be there, we're excited to be there, and we are showing up for one another in complete authenticity. And I never want to put myself in the position again, in whether it's a family relationship, a friendship relationship, a partnership, in business or romance or whatever it may be, where if somebody is not responding to me, then suddenly I'm taking that on as that I've done something wrong, because I am practicing non-attachment and not having judgment and allowing people to come and go in my life as the divine timing allows. And for me, this has really been like an eye-opening experience, because like I was mentioning, like in my junior high and high school years, that I was so desperate just to like have a lot of friends and be around a lot of people, that now I'm like, dang, I really sold myself out. I did not honor my authenticity of this is who I am, and I'd rather have these very like supportive friends rather than having a bunch of acquaintances. And that's not to say that my acquaintances and those relationships haven't nourished me in other ways. They have provided me with a lot of insight and experience of what it is that I don't want in friendships and what I do want to have in friendships. So I think that even though now that I am settling in and feeling more comfortable with being able to express my boundaries, communicate nonviolently, and really just show up as I am, that has allowed me to actually not even worry about the accessory energies around me. That if somebody is just not vibrating and not meshing well with me and I'm just not feeling it, I don't have to respond. I don't have to put energy into the relationship. And most of all, I don't have to explain myself. And for me, that has also been like a huge light bulb moment of I'm going to choose the next best right step for myself. I do not owe an explanation to anyone. And that is so freeing because I no longer feel the pressure to respond to text messages, to answer when people call. For me, I think that sometimes my communication could be stronger with people if they're relationships that maybe are like in the middle. And I would say this is kind of more like with family and semi-close friends of being like, this is kind of how I want to engage with you rather than just leave, like ghosting them. So for me, that's something that I'm definitely working on, is how to express myself to other people without it coming off as nasty, and really just like watching how I am speaking to people to make sure that I am understood and that I also allow them to express to me how they're feeling about that. Because there's also the perception issue that comes in. If somebody thinks that I'm their best friend and I think that they're an acquaintance, we are already mismatched in what the expectations or the experiences that friendship or that relationship is bringing. So I feel like for me, like being clearer with people and really just being like, okay, you are like, I have an iPhone. So it's like, you are in my top 9 or you're not in my top 9. So how do I manage the people that maybe could be in my top 12 and aren't? And how do I navigate those relationships? So overall, I really just am grateful that I have been able to cultivate these safe spaces within friendships that allow me to show up authentically and have non-attachment and do not have expectations other than that we are going to practice nonviolent communication. We're going to practice non-judgment. We're going to practice non-attachment. And for me as well, and I shared this with my friend yesterday, I said, I hope to be able to I choose to cultivate these experiences and these ways of engaging with people with whoever my next partner is and whoever I work in business with. Like, I am going to set that as the stage of this is how I operate, to hopefully empower other people to have the same experience, have a similar experience, or at least consider that there are other ways to engage with people. And in no way am I even judging people who just want to have a bunch of acquaintances and maybe aren't in the place in their life where they are looking to be super connected to people. Because even myself, I'm coming out of a hermit mode right now where I was very much inward, doing a lot of deep inner child work. And for me, that's also like really exhausting. So it's not always easy for me to just simply be like, okay, everybody, I am gonna be, able to take on everybody's energy. I don't take on people's emotions. That was a big lesson of 2022. When people have an emotional reaction, that is not my responsibility. And that has also been really freeing because it allows me to just exist with the person who's experiencing whatever it is. So I will ask, are you venting or are you asking for a suggestion or support? Like, how can I best support that person in that moment? And that definitely comes from my peer support background of just allowing people to be there while also holding my own boundaries. Because if I am experiencing low energy, I do not have the capacity or the capabilities to show up for someone who is having a 911 or is needing to emote. Because I might not be able to maintain my own boundaries because I might start taking on some of that stuff because maybe it will become triggering for me. So really, for me, like my friendships and the relationships that I have continued to nourish, definitely over these last 2 years, have been because I have been able to express myself and hold those values of non-judgment, non-attachment, and just truly being able to exist with other people. For me, this has really been helpful for just also time management, engaging with other people, and practicing my skills. Because again, like back with the non-judgment and just being able to arrive authentically, it's okay in my relationships that if I say something that maybe comes off really harsh, I'm not offended or have a negative reaction if my friend says to me, or the person says to me like, ouch, that hurt my feelings, or why did you say it that way? Or can you explain more? Like, I'm no longer triggered to be defensive. I really am using my skills to be able to have that active listening, have that open communication, and have that ability to have the dialogue to continue improving myself and to continue creating the security within that friendship. Because my friends know that if a mistake happens or something happens or some type of harm, I'm going to take accountability, and that they will take accountability. So there's never this question of not having transparency. It's transparent. We know what's going on. And that is just like definitely what I love about my friendships and my relationships. And this is not necessarily the easiest thing to do, especially I'm a recovering codependent. So in the beginning of this process, it wasn't so easy for me to tell people no or not respond, or however it was that I was feeling authentically wanting to respond, to override my desire to people please and to make sure that no one's mad at me, or someone's not upset or gonna yell at me or be mean, and process what they're experiencing from me on their end, because that's not my responsibility. I cannot change anyone's behavior other than my own. And that's why I have a purple circle around me of other people can be experiencing the world as they please, and I'm experiencing the world as I am within myself. And I am taking full accountability of my own well-being without it being influenced by other people's emotional reactions, what they're saying, how they're showing up, because that's not a reflection of me. That's them dealing with whatever it is going on in their life at that time. So that pretty much is what I wanted to talk about really quickly, is high vibrational friendships and relationships, and ways that I have been able to integrate my skills and my tools for my self-development into those relationships, and using those relationships as models for how I engage in other relationships in my life. So I'm curious, how have you experienced high vibrational friendships in your life? Or are you still navigating between what does it mean to even be in that type of relationship? Or what does it mean to even communicate in a different way that isn't coming from a people-pleasing, codependent way of life? I'd love to know, so leave your comments down below, and I hope to see you soon. Blessings and abundance. Bye.